From the Google and Facebook hearings, it's clear that many of our policymakers are relatively technology illiterate, and I wanted to know some of your thoughts on today's technology. So, like, how will current day technologies such as AI or self-driving cars affect the policies that you make?
Yeah, it's hugely important, and it's really embarrassing to watch legislators who don't appear to know what they're regulating, right? Especially at a moment when we really need government to be at least as sophisticated as the tech companies so that we can have policies that compel them to do the right thing. AI is only going to accelerate. I'm chairing a task force of mayors right now dealing with this because it changes the way our cities work. One big thing I think we got to pay attention to is the extent to which we might inadvertently be automating bias. I'll give you a very simple example. You ever been on Gmail and it proposes a reply that's exactly what you would have said, and like that's kind of spooky, but that's AI at work, right? If you go to Google Translate and you enter the phrase, she is a doctor, he is a nurse, and you translate it into Turkish, which has no gender pronouns. Then you paste that in another window in Turkish and you translate it back into English. It comes back to you as he is a doctor, she is a nurse. Not because there was some sexist programmer at Google Translate trying to make sure that only men could be doctors, but because it's inhaling the biases of the world around it. That's what AI does, right? It's only as good or bad as what it picks up on. So we need to really think about the extent to which it can reinforce versus break down inequality. As I said, I think AI is also going to change the future of work, and it's going to change what's important in our readiness for the workforce. The other thing I would add is that we really need to think about what a data law and a data policy looks like for the US, because it's only going to increase to the point, arguably, where for most of us, the most valuable thing a person owns might be a home followed by a car. It might be that the body of data you own about yourself now is soon going to rise to the level where it goes somewhere in between car and home and only goes up. So who actually owns it? In Estonia right now, and that's a different case. They only have 1 million people there, but it's a very interesting one. You have all the rights to your data. Your data is backed up to the blockchain. If anybody accesses it, you have the ability to find out how and what they did. You can also do anything online in Estonia right now. You can vote. You can pay your tax. The only things you can't do are get married, which makes sense. You still got to be in person for that, and certain real estate transactions. And they've created a digital society because they've created secure ID. Our ID could not be worse. I mean, first, think about this. Like, one of the basic jobs of government is authenticating, right? Establishing that you are who you say you are. And yet, how do you usually authenticate yourself? Sign in with Facebook, right? You can go to Banana Republic and you can sign in with Facebook. It's become Facebook's job to establish who we say we are. When we do authenticate ourselves in person, it's usually with a driver's license, even if you don't drive. And the closest thing we have to a national ID number breaks the most basic principle of internet security, which is never have your login username and your password be the same thing. So we've got to really rethink how our data is organized and how our participation in citizenship works technologically. And we're just at the very outset of understanding how to do that well.
Thank you.
We're going to